Hello, this is Dr. Don Ibbotson with Above and Beyond Counseling Center and Academy, and I want to give you a brief teaching about one aspect of word curses. Words have creative power for good or evil. We see this in Proverbs 18:21, Matthew 17:20, and James 3:8 and 9. And part of our teaching for counseling and deliverance ministry preparation involves breaking word curses. However, we see this notion of word curses in the body of Christ carried to what we believe is an extreme at times that can result in us looking silly to others. We're called to live and walk in faith, but there needs to be sensibility. During the ministry time at my church a few years back, I went up to the front for prayer for healing. Now, a dear lady there asked me afterwards why I went up. I said that I had a painfully sore shoulder that was keeping me awake at night and I wanted relief. She looked at me and her response was, "Oh, you shouldn't claim that," and proceeded to tell me that I was already healed and that I should not use those words. When Jesus or the disciples came upon blind or lame people, did he berate them and tell them that they weren't blind or crippled? Of course not. He simply healed them. Is it wrong for a Christian who may be blind or deaf or have some other infirmity to state the obvious? I think not. When a blind person gets their healing and sees, they're no longer going to say, if they're asked, "I am blind." Or in my case, when my shoulder was healed, it wasn't sore anymore. Now, we're not trying to trivialize or minimize the power of words that we speak. Indeed, self-imposed curses that take ownership of certain conditions are indeed spiritually damaging and open doors for demonic torment. Declarations like, "I am ADD, I am bipolar, I am an alcoholic," or "my depression, my arthritis," and so on, are unbiblical declarations that Christians must avoid. We are who God says we are in His Word. Some of these labels that the world uses freely are unwittingly embraced and claimed by people, which often limits God's ability to do a work in a person's life. In a similar vein, "I am stupid," "no one will ever love me," "I'm a loser," are destructive spiritual weapons that the demonic kingdom uses against us, because we do in fact take ownership over those descriptions and declare them upon us. What is the proper use of words in these instances? If you have a cold, we contend it's okay to say, "I have a cold," because that is your present physical condition. You're not taking ownership, but describing a current condition from which you need healing. Imagine how silly you would look if you went into work, you should probably stay at home, and declared that you did not have a cold, even as you were coughing and dealing with draining sinuses. If you're battling an addiction to alcohol, why not say, "I'm a lover of God, battling an addiction to alcohol"? There is hope and life in those words, contrasted with, "I'm an alcoholic." And rather than saying, "my arthritis," why not say, "Jesus is my healer and I am pursuing healing for this arthritis. It's done in the spirit realm already and it's going to show up in my body soon." There is indeed great power in the tongue, but it's also a vehicle for communication to the world in which we live in. We must guard it, but let's let wisdom and common sense be our guides too, in greater measure.